So, just like the earlier videos in today's show, I had to go out there and say this, that I am indeed pretty busy today. So I'm not going to be able to see the 4 p.m. Montreal Canadiens game, nor the 4 p.m. Detroit Red Wings games. So, yeah, sorry, the Habs are playing the Sens. That's going to be feisty, as usual. We might talk about it when I get home later, like way later, or maybe just tomorrow, who really knows. But for now, what I wanted to do was talk about a piece of news that was not related to the Montreal Canadiens' upcoming Sens game. Instead, I wanted to go over some articles that talk about Juraj Slafkovsky and some apparent beef that may be going on between him and the Slovak Hockey Association. Yeah, this is really interesting, and one of these things where I don't think we'll ever see something like this again. Pretty much because it's so rare to see a guy call out his own country's hockey program. Let's go out there and look at this article published on thehockeynews.com earlier this morning by Derek O'Brien. Hockey Slovakia responds to Juraj Slafkovsky's criticism. Hockey's governing body in Slovakia had a response to Juraj Slafkovsky's comments in a recent interview. Okay, now that's a really unique way to open up an article. I wonder what's going on here. Well, let's dive into the first paragraph. Last week, in an interview with Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic, 20-year-old Juraj Slafkovsky made comments that were critical of the Slovak Ice Hockey Association. Now, you know the protocol about these things. The Athletic is paid for material, so we're not going to go out there and screenshot the article, but it is hyperlinked in the Hockey News article, so if you wanted to go out there and read the Pierre LeBrun scoops, it's all there in the description for you. But this is what Juraj Slafkovsky said about the Slovak Hockey Federation. A couple of things need to change there for us to be successful again, Slafkovsky is quoted in the article, because I feel we got the Olympic bronze medal in 2022 and people get satisfied by these things. But that was lucky because there was no NHL players. Let's be honest, we wouldn't have won that medal if everyone had their full squad. But we get satisfied by these little things. We think we're doing things the right way, but we're not. We're just pretending. And we are trying to sell it to the people that we're doing things the right way by pushing these fake results. Obviously, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me that I won the Olympic medal, but let's be honest about it. Okay, You know, I'll say this, there's a time and a place. There's a difference between necessary and appropriate. Now, I, personally, am not going to go out there and talk about the contents of the Athletics material, aside from the quotes that are included here in the Hockey News article, but it does kind of pique my interest as to why the hell this entire thing was even being talked about. Because obviously, you know, Slafkovsky isn't necessarily wrong in his assessment of saying, oh, if there were NHL players at the 2022 Olympics, then we probably would not have won that bronze medal. But at the same time, to call out your own country and saying, oh, Slovakia is acting like we won this bronze medal and we would have won it otherwise. They're selling these fake results. That kind of comment doesn't really seem all too necessary. It doesn't seem like something that really helps anybody out. However, it's not incorrect in a way. It kind of relates to the concept of like, just because something is true doesn't mean that you have to say it, even if it hurts people to acknowledge that that thing is there. Obviously, Slovakia gave us a really interesting tournament in 2022, but if there were NHL players, I mean, it probably would have been like Canada, USA, Sweden, again, Finland, no Russia, because, yeah, they haven't been in the Olympics for a while, but Slafkovsky started stuff up with his country. He then further criticized how national teams are selected at the U16 and U17 levels, saying they refuse to invite players based in North America because the people running it are scared that their own kid won't play, or he knows this guy's father and his kid needs to play. It's all about connections in Slovakia, he said. I see it and everyone is scared to talk about it. Probably we need more people to work for the Federation, but no one wants to work for that. You think Marian Hossa wants to work for the Federation? No. Marian Gaborik? No. It's because some of the people that are already there, they do it their own way, so they benefit from it, and not Slovak hockey. That's my opinion. Now, all talks about nepotism aside, this is a really interesting way to call out your own hockey programming and how these junior teams are formed. Oh, if you got a kid in North America, he's not going to get called over. Oh, he gets called over because people know his father, or this guy needs to play. It's all about connections. What a strange way to go out there and call out your own hockey team. It might be true, it might be not. I'm not too familiar with the Slovak Hockey development program, but the fact is, Slafkovsky did make these comments, and the fact is, Slovakia did respond. Take a look at this. They had themselves a statement published on sportactuality.sk. This is also linked in the description, but it is behind a paywall. Take a look at the comments made by Hockey Slovakia. We perceive the opinions of Juraj Slafkovsky as ill-considered statements of a young player. The statement begins, "It must have been difficult for his representative teammates from the bronze medal team, the coaches who selected him, and the officials who gave him the opportunity to advance his career. We are convinced that there are many passionate players, coaches, experts working in our country on whom Slovak hockey really stands. We believe that in the future, Juraj will communicate with the media with the responsibility of the leader of the national team." And that is a statement, it doesn't really say much, to be honest. It just says, oh, he's a young guy. Ill-considered statements. We think that he'll grow out of these ideas as he gets older. And honestly, from the way everything shapes up here, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case. I mean, Slafkovsky is a young dude. Obviously, we acknowledge he's 20 years old, for crying out loud. But Juraj is a pretty smart dude, and you can already tell from the way he conducts his media interviews and how he speaks his opinion that he doesn't really have that same sort of standardized, run-of-the-mill personality. And honestly, the way that he's talking about it, it's not like anything he said here is necessarily incorrect, if we're going to assume that he knows what he's talking about. I mean, yeah, Slovak hockey probably wouldn't have won the bronze medal if there were NHL players there, and okay, maybe it is really like nepotism based that will allow Slovak hockey players to make the U17, U16, U18 junior teams. But at the same time, if that's true, I don't know if him getting older will necessarily make him shy away from believing in these ideas. Maybe if he gets older, then he doesn't really need to talk about it as much. Maybe there isn't really a necessity to. Maybe he doesn't feel the need to call out Hockey Slovakia. You also have to remember that part of the reason I think there's a little bit of sensitivity about this is because in Slovakia, Juraj Slafkovsky is a legend. Like, he is one of the most popular human beings in that country. We had seen Philip Mashar even say, like, hey, every time Juraj Slafkovsky does something, every time he says something, it's on the news in Slovakia, it's viral, he's a celebrity there. And so to have the #1 celebrity in hockey go out there and call out the hockey programming in that country saying, hey, look guys, we're selling lies. Like, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. And for Pierre LeBrun to have this interview, it was really interesting to see that entire thing get started. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is a little bit of a timeless kind of video here. It's not really relevant to the Canadiens and the Sens game. It is just a story that I saw that I wanted to respond to. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Juraj Slafkovsky calling out the Hockey Slovakia Federation? And how do you feel about them responding to him in these comments as well? The Hockey News article is linked in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.